Hello again, and welcome back to Illegally Cited. This is Jesse, aka BGFH, and I'm back for another technology video. This time I want to show you guys a couple of quick things in the Windows 10 May 2019 update, because there's a couple kind of neat things here. Mainly I'm going to be focusing on low vision, but I'm going to dive into Narrator and try to check out a couple of things as well. I don't remember every little line item as far as which commands or which specific narrator things have been updated. I know they've fixed some reading issues and increased some compatibility for different programs here and there. I've retweeted several posts that have kind of talked a little bit more about Narrator. But one of the coolest things that I kind of want to show you guys is some additional things that they've done for low vision. And I am going to, just for the heck of it, let's run Narrator just so that you speech users will also have something to listen to here.
Mouse mode on. Narrator heading level 1. Welcome to Narrator. This is Narrator Home, where you can get help, access your settings, and learn about new features. Narrator is a screen reader that describes aloud what's on your screen, so you can use that information to navigate your device. To start or stop Narrator, press the Windows logo key plus Control plus Enter. Explore the sections below to get started. Quick Start, button, Alt.
Okay.
Here.
So Quick Start, that's, if you remember, I did a technology video during the spring update, the fall update last year, I believe it was, where they introduced kind of what they did in VoiceOver for the Mac, where they kind of give you an introduction to using Narrator, which is actually, especially for new users, pretty cool. And gets you used to some of how Narrator works and some of their commands and things. So if you want a more detailed look at that, go back and check out my video for the fall 2018 update.
Learn the basics of Narrator. Narrator Guide, button, Alt, G.
Okay, we got a Narrator Guide.
View the complete Narrator Guide online.
So there you go, a link to basically the whole manual if you want to go and get every little thing you want to know.
What's new, button, Alt, W.
That we may check out.
Get an overview of new and updated features.
Okay.
Settings, button, Alt, S.
And we are going to go in there shortly because there's one feature in particular that I'm particularly excited about, if I remember correctly. They've added a setting to where, remember when you were alt-tabbing through things and you would, sometimes you would always just keep landing on this Narrator thing that would just get in the way? Well, now, if I remember correctly, you can launch Narrator and then it'll sit in the system tray, so it won't get in your way. And I am definitely going to switch into that because I think that would be very helpful.
Customize Narrator. Feedback, button.
And of course,
Alt.
feedback. So
Custom
let's go really
settings.
quick.
Get an what's new, button.
What's new?
Narrator window. Version released in 2019. We want to know what you think of these features. To give feedback, press Narrator plus Alt plus F. Heading level 2. Introducing Narrator Home. Every time you turn on Narrator, you'll be taken to Narrator Home, which gives you one place where you can access everything you need, whether you want to change your Narrator settings or learn basics with Quick Start. In Settings, you can remove Narrator Home from the Alt plus Tab list and minimize it to the system tray instead. You can access your settings through Narrator Home or by pressing Windows logo key plus Control plus N. Heading level 1.
Okay,
Control how much you hear. Heading level 2. New verbosity options.
This I like
in
too.
Settings, there are 5 new verbosity levels that control the amount of information you hear about text, controls, and other document attributes. Press Narrator and V to cycle through verbosity levels. If you want to hear advanced information like help text and image descriptions all the time, you can check the checkbox in Settings next to hear advanced detail, like help text, on buttons and other controls. Or, you can press Narrator plus 0 to hear it just when you need it. Heading level 2, hear phonetics. Narrator reads characters phonetically A alpha, B bravo, for example only when you want it to. To hear phonetic information,
you hit it
press
twice
Narrator
now.
and comma, twice quickly.
Right. Yep.
Phonetics can.
So I'm going to hit H again for heading.
Text reading, heading level 1.
So let's see what we got in text reading here.
Heading level 2, read by sentence.
Okay, I can read by sentence now.
You can now read next, current, and previous sentences in Narrator. Read by sentence is available whether you're using a keyboard.
Okay.
Press Narrator plus Control plus period.
So I'll let you guys peruse this too because I don't want to spend a lot of time here, but like I said, it's really nice. They give you this home base. You can kind of see what's new. You can look at a manual. You can run the quick start tutorial thing if you're new. Really nice job, actually. Kind of just getting your own little narrator hub, as it were.
Improved table reading. Heading
Now
level 2.
this I'm really curious to check out too, because I remember I was talking to a coworker, and he said they're starting to work, but tables are still a little bit finicky. Let's see what it actually says about tables here, because this I'm genuinely curious about myself.
In Microsoft Edge, Narrator no longer announces non-selected when it shouldn't. Narrator also won't announce when you exit and re-enter a table when you're reading a single table continuously.
Okay.
Narrator will also not announce parent table information when you navigate to a nested table.
Sure.
In Excel, Narrator now prioritizes reading the data in a column header before announcing whether a filter is on. Narrator also now correctly reads out column headers in a grid formatted as a table when you use the red current column header command.
Wow, yeah, they're really starting to beef this up. I mean, they're really coming in. I don't know if they're quite there yet, but I mean, I think they're getting pretty dang close to being comparable with something like VoiceOver. You know, you get Narrator, you get Magnifier, or you get Narrator and you get NVDA. For a lot of users, that just, that might be enough. Because then you have you still have two essentially free screen readers that you can kind of bounce back and forth between in case something doesn't work. And then you do have JAWS if you need it. But it's starting to really, Microsoft is showing some real initiative with their accessibility stuff. Like I said, I've been really impressed, not only with what they're doing internally, but just getting feedback from the community, talking to actual blind and low vision users. As I said before on the channel, I'm part of this Microsoft Low Vision group, and that's all about all I'm at liberty to say. But there you go.
Heading level 2. Stay focused when you're reading. It's now easier to stay focused while you read content on the web. Reading and navigation commands will stay within content areas when you're using most web browsers, like Microsoft Edge. This also works when you're reading email in Outlook or the Mail app.
Okay.
You can still move out of content areas using tab or shortcut keys.
That's kind of nice, actually. A little bit more focused reading. That's good.
Move your cursor as Narrator reads. Heading level 2.
What I can't remember is, in this version, I can't remember we're gonna go into Chrome and see how well it works in Chrome, because I know they have the beta, or like an early access version. If you want to go get it, you could get you can go get their new version of Edge that uses their Chromium thing, which I have not done, but I'm really tempted to, because I'm genuinely curious to see, because there are things that I like about Edge, like some of the commands and some of the way, like I'm used to some of how Internet Explorer did things, but having some of the speed and some of the functionality that you have in Chrome, once Microsoft gets this out of beta and actually gets it into everybody's hands in a full version, it might be pretty cool. That might be a pretty good deal.
Reading improvements. Heading level 2. Control reading. Heading level 1.
I just want to see if it mentions anything about web browsers here.
Recognition of combo edit controls.
Okay.
Heading typing. Heading level 1.
Oh, what's under typing?
Heading level 2. Hear when you're pressing certain keys.
Oh,
You
right.
can now choose to hear when you're pressing certain types of keys. You can independently
Right, so like
select
modifiers
your letters,
and stuff like
numbers,
that.
and punctuation as you type.
Okay.
Hear function keys as you type. Hear arrow, tab, and other navigation keys
That
as you type.
I like, because if I want to, I can, JAWS would do the same thing, where you would turn off key echo, and maybe you would have it to word echo, or you would have it to nothing. And when you're typing, it was fine, but then when you were navigating around, you would hit tab, 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 tab. Like, shut up. And you'd have to go in and turn those things off. So actually, Narrator is giving you that sort of control too. So if I don't want to hear some of the navigation keystrokes, but if I'm a new user, maybe you do want to hear them, just so that that you are in fact hitting, control left arrow or alt whatever. So that could be helpful.
New caps lock alert. Heading level 2.
Oh, what is this?
Narrator now lets you know when you're typing with caps lock on. You can change this in settings by selecting a different option
That
under
is
change when you
appreciative.
receive caps.
There you go, because you don't want to be in internet speak shouting at everyone all the time.
App and device compatibility.
Now
Heading level
here's
1.
what I'm curious. I'm curious if I know they've added a few other Braille display support. I believe they support the Braille Note Touch, and I think they support the. Well, let's find out. Let's see.
Heading level 2. Improved Chrome compatibility.
Yes, Bring on the Chrome. Yeah, that's what I'm waiting to hear.
It's now easier to use Narrator with Chrome, and you'll be able to read web pages using just your arrow keys.
Yay!
Heading Level 2, Braille Updates. You can now use Braille No Touch, plus Inceptor, and Orbit 20 displays.
Oh, Orbit 20,
with
that's
USB
what I was
support
thinking
in the
of,
latest
yeah.
version of BRLTTY,
Okay.
version 5.6.
Sure.
Heading Level 1, Seamless Experience. Heading Level 2, Narrator stays on while you reset your PIN or password.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so when you're doing some of those security things, Narrator could go away, leaving someone who is totally blind in kind of a pickle. So that's good to know.
If you forget your PIN or password for your Microsoft account, Narrator will
Right.
stay. Improved Windows Server setup. Heading
Yeah,
Level 2.
So look at all the improvements here, guys. I mean, this is neat.
No next heading.
All right, let's see if we can go back.
Go to Narrator Home. Button.
Yeah, let's go to Narrator
Heading
Home,
Level
because
1.
I want to
E.
also look at.
Quick
Let's
start.
go.
Narrator got what's new. Settings.
Let's go into settings here, because we're going to change a couple things.
Settings window. Use Narrator. Turn on Narrator. Link. Op link. View the complete. Startup options. Allow the shortcut key to start Narrator checkbox checked.
So yes, we want that. We want our Control Windows Enter to be able to start Narrator. Absolutely.
Start Narrator after sign in for me checkbox unchecked.
So for me, I don't.
Start Narrator before sign in for everyone checkbox unchecked.
I don't, but again, you can. So you can do it at the logon screen. You can do it for your account.
Show Narrator home when Narrator starts checkbox checked.
For now, I'm going to leave it. I may turn that off because I usually just want it to just start, and then I'll be doing what I want to. But, you know, to keep an eye on new things, and if I get any, I can look at the latest news and stuff really easily.
Minimize Narrator home to the system tray checkbox checked.
Yes. Minimize it to the system tray. Huzzah. Now, if I...
When this box is unchecked, Narrator home will minimize to the taskbar.
Oh, wait a minute. What?
Minimize Narrator home to the system tray checkbox checked.
Oh, okay. So it's minimizing to the system tray, but if I uncheck that, it'll go back to the old behavior. Okay, I was sort of confused. Yeah, so it's going to go back to the. If I uncheck that, it'll go to the traditional. Like then it'll be in the Alt Tab order. Well, I don't want that, so let's keep that the way it is.
Personalize Narrator's voice. Choose a voice. Microsoft David Desktop.
Okay.
English link. Add more voices. Change voice speed. Change voice pitch. Change voice volume.
I just want to see if there's any other cool settings
Lower
in
the
here.
volume of other apps when Narrator is speaking checkbox checked.
So there's your audio ducking setting.
Select where you hear Narrator's voice. Default audio device.
And this
Combo
is
box.
cool because again, let's say you're doing a presentation, you want to play a movie or an audio clip or something, you want that to go through like the overhead or some speakers. And then you just want to hear Narrator yourself so you can read your notes and PowerPoint slides or whatever you're doing. You can hear those in your headphones, and then no one else is the wiser. They'll just hear what you want them to hear. So, again, I did that video, that kind of tips and tricks video on these app volumes settings, and that I can't tell you how useful that's been, especially when there's some games that have wanted to. Some flat screen games that would want to go to the headset, my Oculus Rift headset, and there's some Oculus games that instead of the audio going to the headset the way it's supposed to, it just goes to my regular headphones. So being able to do that on an app basis, per app basis, is kind of fantastic.
Change what you hear when reading and interacting. Change the level of detail Narrator provides about text and controls. 3. All control details.
So I don't want that.
3.
That's a little too
all
wordy.
Control detail. 4. Some text details. 4. 5. All text details. 4. 3. 2. Some control details. 2 of 5.
Yeah.
1. Text only. 2. Some control details.
Let's do that.
2. Have Narrator's voice emphasize formatted text checkbox unchecked.
Oh, interesting.
Hear phonetics as you read by character checkbox unchecked.
Oh.
Have Narrator's voice emphasize formatted text checkbox unchecked.
Okay, so that's handy. If you're in Word and you're arrowing through some text, you can actually have it, say if it's bold or italic or something. So if you're doing some proofreading or making a report or a paper or something, that'll be handy for you.
Hear phonetics as you read by character checkbox unchecked.
So I can turn that on if I
Have
want.
Narrator use punctuation to determine pauses when reading checkbox checked.
And some of these options were here before. I'm just kind of giving a rough overview for you guys, just so you can see how much is here. And I love the fact that these Narrator settings here are in kind of your traditional like Windows 10 sort of things, that the way they're doing for everything. Because before it was just this weird little window that was kind of held over, I believe, the way it was done in Windows 8. So it was not really the same. You had these different sections and everything. And now it's just on one screen, but just with different kind of heading categories. So I appreciate that the interface is starting to become a lot more consistent.
Here advanced detail, like help text, on buttons, and other controls checkbox unchecked. Change the level of context narrator provides for buttons and other controls. 2. Immediate context. Combo box. Collapse.
So that's
Adjust
nice.
when narrator provides details about buttons and other controls.
To be honest with you, I have not gone through all of these settings for a while, and it's kind of even just refreshing for me to go through these and go, wow, look at how much control, look at how much customization you actually have. Because even a few versions back, I mean, it worked pretty well, but there was some stuff where it just, I wish that there was a lot more customization and the way it would read things, and they're doing a lot of that. They're doing some nice stuff here.
Here hints on how to interact with buttons and other controls checkbox checked. Here narrator announce why an action can't be performed checkbox checked.
Huh, okay. That's kind of nice.
Here audio cues when you perform actions checkbox checked. Change what you hear when typing. Here letters, numbers, and punctuation as you type checkbox unchecked.
No.
Here words as you type checkbox checked.
That's acceptable.
Here function keys as you type checkbox unchecked.
Okay, so
Here
yeah.
arrow, tab, and other navigation
See,
keys as
remember,
you
that's
type
one of those.
checkbox unchecked.
This is new because these are things that they said that you can toggle. Do you want to hear control and function keys? So again, especially if somebody's new to learning the computer, turn these on, and that'll help them, kind of learn their way around a little bit more until they feel more comfortable.
Here when toggle keys like caps lock and number lock are turned on or off checkbox checked.
Yeah, that I like.
Here shift, alt, and other modifier keys as you type checkbox unchecked.
No.
Change when you receive caps lock warnings while typing. Always, combo box, collapsed.
Yeah, that I would like to know, actually. If I have narrator on, that would be helpful.
Choose keyboard settings, select keyboard layout, standard, combo box, link, learn about the different narrator, select narrator modifier key, lock the narrator key so I don't have to press it for each command checkbox unchecked.
So again, that's been available for a while, but
on touch keyboards, activate
look
link,
at how many things
create your
there
own
are.
keyboard, use narrator cursor, show the narrator cursor checkbox check, move my cursor with the narrator cursor as narrator read, sync the read and interact with the screen using the mouse checkbox checked.
That is a feature that I loved when they added. Basically, your mouse hover, so I can take my mouse, and if I move over something...
While. Warnings. Here shift, alt, and other modifier keys as you type checkbox unchecked.
So that's really nice. I can just mouse over something as a low vision user. It's great. So that's kind of your narrator stuff.
Here when toggle keys, vision, cursor and pointer, 2 of magnifier, cursor and pointer,
cursor and pointer. This is a low vision feature now that I really wanted to show you guys. I couldn't say anything for a while, but now it's widely available, and you guys can get this now. So remember before, you had kind of 2 rows of things. You had a mouse size thing, and you had normal, large, and extra large. Those were your 3 choices. And then you had...
Change pointer color. Cursor,
white,
image,
black,
cursor, image, black,
and
cursor,
you had
image.
inverted. Well, now we have things is a little bit different. We have, instead of the 3 sizes, we have a slider here.
Slider
and let me
3.
turn magnifier on, so if you are low vision, you can actually see this. Let me zoom out a little bit here. And check this out. So now we don't even have those three things anymore. Look at, and if you've seen me moving the mouse, you notice that it's not my typical black mouse pointer that you've seen in the past.
Change pointer size.
And I have it because I'm trying this new mouse mode out, and I can move it around. And it's this giant kind of greenish thing. So I can take the slider though. Check this out. So I'm at about, does it say what point size I'm at? I'm not sure.
Display,
but
change pointer size and color. Change
I'll show you how big
size.
it can go.
Slider at 3.
15. Dang, that's a big mouse pointer. Look at that.
And heading
You're not going to lose that. And again, so I have this kind of yellow cursor here.
Pick a custom pointer
if I don't want that, I can go, I can
yellow,
change.
Lime, 1 of 7.
Okay, so it's technically
Selected.
lime.
Yellow. Change pointer size. Suggested pointer colors. Gold, 3 of 7. Pink, turquoise, green, purple, 7 of 7.
So those are they've kind of done some testing on what colors people really like that stand out for low vision users. But if none of those really seem acceptable, you can always
pick a custom pointer color.
Pick a custom pointer color. So if I do that,
pop-up window,
and now you get this whole picker, and I can choose any old color I want. I'm just going to cancel.
But more button, cancel, settings window.
So I'm just going to keep it the way it is.
Color filter. Change.
I don't want my mouse that
heading
big.
Level.
That's
change pointer size.
Kind of ridiculous
Slider
for me.
But change pointer size. Slider at 15.
3, 4, 3.
Yeah. How about
4, 3?
I think I had it about 3 before. So there you go. I have my slider, and I used to have it on this black here. I used to have it. That's the way it would look with that kind of black and the white outline. But now I have this. You got to see the little color wheel thing here, and this is your colored customizer. So now it's really funny because some of the things that you would use Magic or Zoom Text for are being built right into Windows. And I'm gonna eyeball this thing pretty closely here. To me, anyway, this mouse does not look very pixelated. Let me zoom in just a bit more just to see. I don't know. I think it looks pretty good. I don't think it looks all that jagged. It looks like just a nice triangle pointer. So nice clarity there. So you got a lot more customized options there. And remember, in the fall update last year, we had the they've been expanding the dark mode to more areas, and they also added the color filters. So now, whether you're using Magnifier or not, you can kind of choose if you want to have inverted color or grayscale or whatever. So now you can actually change your mouse as well. And it's funny because, everyone, bragged about how Apple was the first to do the accessibility stuff. But especially with the low vision, I don't know that they've really changed the way Zoom works on the Mac or added any other visual enhancements kind of stuff to the Mac in many years. I mean, I still think on the Mac it's incredibly stupid that you can hit Command F5 to turn VoiceOver on. Yet, in order to turn Zoom on, God forbid you want magnification, you actually have to go into System Preferences first, check the box that says Allow the keyboard shortcut, and then you can do Option Command 8. But why, why wouldn't you have that checkbox on by default? It's okay, VoiceOver users, they can do their shortcut, but low vision users can't. So if you wanted to use that during the setup, you can't. That's pretty dumb. So Microsoft, especially in the low vision arena, I think they've actually really surpassed. They've surpassed what Apple has done, especially for low vision. So
make the cursor easier to see when
I can
typing.
even make the cursor
thickness
easier to see. So thickness. If I go into Notepad, let's go into Notepad.
Pane untitled Notepad window. This is a test.
Okay, so we're going to go like that. So the cursor thickness, I can see the little cursor there, and I think, I think that's the little I-beam thing there too. So
settings window. I could change color filter here. Closed captions, interaction.
What am I at here?
Here, cursor. Make the cursor easier to see when typing. Change cursor thickness.
So
change cursor thickness.
Make this
slider at 3. 10.
Pretty fat, not super fat, but we'll put it about halfway.
Notepad window.
Oh yeah, so look at how wide that is
editing.
Now the cursor really
stands
out. Yeah. And again, I can test.
Caps lock off. Caps lock on.
So now if I type
this, is. Cap A. Test.
So again, it's kind of giving me that tick telling me, you got caps lock on.
Caps lock off. This selection deleted.
That. Let's go back to our settings really fast. So our low vision.
Touch heading level 2.
Some more touch settings here.
Settings window. Change touch feedback. Make visual feedback for touch points.
So there you go. There's some nice pointer settings. I think a lot of low vision users, like I said, especially if you were relying on something like Zoom Text and to make your mouse cursor bigger than what Windows allowed, like you can make your mouse pointer super giant. Oh, I was going to change. Hold on, let me change this back.
Change cursor thickness.
I'm going to change that back down
10,
to like 3.
1, 2, 3.
Sure, we'll leave it at 3.
Here, vision, magnifier.
Let's go into magnifier and
Use
just
magnifier.
Let's see if there's any other settings in here.
Plus, your
that
mouse
we
pointer
found.
around the screen. Use zoom.
So we've got
change
a zoom,
windows.
and we can change our zoom increments. Like I said, some of this is still old.
100%.
I can
Default.
change like
Start
how much I want
press
to
and hold
use.
to zoom in or out. Start magnifier after sign in checkbox unchecked. Start magnifier before sign in for everyone check. Smooth
So
edges.
you got your. Let's just
Start
tab through
magnifier
these
after
here.
sign in checkbox unchecked. Start magnifier before sign in for everyone checkbox unchecked. Collapse magnifier window to a floating transparent magnifying glass checkbox unchecked.
No, I can't stand. I'm so glad they got rid of that.
Start magnifier before collapse magnifier window to a floating transparent magnifying glass checkbox.
Because that's the way. Remember in Windows 7 and even 10 for quite a while, like when you minimize it, you would see this little magnifier. Then you would have to open it and you actually click the minimize button to make it not sit there somewhere in the middle of your screen. So I'm glad they fixed that.
Smooth edges of images and text checkbox checked.
Definitely a good idea.
Invert colors checkbox unchecked. Change magnifier view. Choose a view. Full screen.
Full screen.
Have magnifier follow. Mouse cursor checkbox.
So these are
Keyboard
again the
text and
same.
narrator. Keep the mouse cursor within the edges of the screen. Combo box. Collapse.
I can't remember. This
Have a question.
might
Have magnifier
been...
follow. Keep the mouse cursor within the edges of the screen. Combo box. Collapsed.
I can't remember if this was in the fall update or if this is a spring one, but I'll recover it here.
Task.
So
settings
look at the way I'm moving my mouse now.
Text
As
insertion
I'm moving around, I'm
smooth edges
scrolling
of
around the
images and
screen. The mouse just kind of moves
magnify-
as it is.
Task tool.
But I
set
have the
within
option
set within the edges of the screen, centered on the screen. Keep
centered
the mouse
on the screen. So
Text
now, when I move, look as I'm moving around the screen.
Mouse cursor checkbox.
This is really great. Let's say somebody lacks peripheral vision. They have a narrow field of view, or they just lose the mouse pointer. You combine that with a bright colored cursor like this. You got a dark mode. You got a nice yellow or lime cursor. And you keep the pointer always in the middle. The only time it's going to go to the side is when you're actually at the edge of the screen. And now it has to, because you've reached the edge of the monitor, and there may be some options or buttons or controls or something that you want to interact with over there. So it's going to be over here.
Filter.
But the moment I leave the edge of the
narrator.
perimeter of the screen,
view heading level
we are
2.
always back in the middle. So I'm good, personally, I'm good either way. I guess I'm just so used to having the cursor just kind of go wherever, and I don't necessarily mind it. So I'm going to just switch it back for
settings
now.
Window. Have magnifier follow. Centered on the screen.
We'll say
within the edges of the screen.
Within the edges of the screen. So now, boom, it's going to just go wherever as I move. And there you go. So there's some magnifier stuff. So there's a lot of other Windows update, or there's a lot of other updates in Windows as far as mainstream stuff, accessibility stuff. But I really wanted to focus on magnification, the color stuff, the mouse pointer, and even some of the new narrator improvements. I love the fact that you can get at it from the system tray. It's not going to be, if I hit Alt-Tab, I've got a whole bunch of stuff in there.
Narrator, 3 of 7.
There's that open. Well, that's the narrator. So if I close this...
Turn off narrator.
Oh,
window.
No.
Okay.
I don't
cancel
want to
narrator
do that.
heading. Quick start. Narrator guide. What's new? Settings. Feedback. Show narrator home when narrator starts. Checkbox checked. Unchecked.
I'm going to uncheck that, I guess.
Link. Start narrator after sign in. Exit narrator. Minimize.
Minimize.
Settings
so
window.
now we minimize this sucker. Now if I Alt-Tab...
Pay. Asterisk untitled. Bandicam. Steam. Install. Layers of Fear 2.
Yeah,
5
I
of
forgot
6.
that was open.
Channel videos. YouTube Studio. Google Chrome. 6 of 6.
There we go. Oh yeah, we got to test Chrome out really fast.
Settings. Asterisk untitled.
Notepad. So let's close this notepad file.
Dialog. Settings window.
And
Bandicam. Steam. Install.
Now that Narrator's been updated, I wonder if Narrator will actually read anything in a Steam window. No.
No next item. No previous. No next item.
Of course it won't. Come on, Valve. Get your act
Settings
together,
window.
people. Add some accessibility, would you, for God's sake? So let's close this settings
tray
area,
application.
and let's
1 of 3
open up
Steam, 2 of channel
Chrome.
videos, channel video,
and I'm just going to go to, let's say,
Google Chrome.
Actually, let's do this. Let's do a new tab.
Has finished loading.
And let's go to The Verge. TheVerge.com.
The Verge.
And we'll just see how Narrator does, because I haven't used it in Chrome for a while. Okay.
Banner.
Oh. Okay, so...
Log in. Sign up. Tech.
Okay, we're not there yet, because apparently it is not like I'm hitting up and down arrow, and it says you're supposed to be able to go through it, you know, with the arrow keys. I remember reading that just a few minutes ago, but I'm hitting the arrow keys, and it's just scrolling up and down the screen.
Scan. Blank. Reviews.
So now if I go put scan mode on...
Why the site of SpaceX's Starlink
now
satellites
I
gave
can
astronomers
use it.
chills. Heading level 2. Elizabeth Warren puts a giant tech breakup billboard in
So you just got to make sure to
Francisco's
put
face.
scan mode on. So I don't know if it, you know, maybe it should have scan mode on by default, because most of the time if you're on a web page you're probably going to want to use scan mode. But if you're using something like Google Docs, where you need to be able to type in text and use its controls, then you're definitely going to want to turn the scan mode off with your modifier spacebar, just like NVDA pretty much.
What the Mac needs now is courage. Heading level 2.
Yeah.
What the Mac needs now is courage.
Oh, courage. Yeah, you and your stupid lightning, or your lack of a headphone jack, because courage. That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And we're going to hear probably some more dumb stuff in less than a week, because WWDC is right around the corner as I'm recording this. So who knows what we're going to hear.
Metadata is the biggest little problem plaguing the music industry. Google bans marijuana delivery companies from selling weed directly through their apps.
Oh
Heading
man,
level 2.
I want me some
Google
weed.
bans marijuana. Apple's latest defense of the App Store just shows how hard it is to
But
compete with
I'm just
Apple.
hitting H for
level
heading.
2.
I can
Apple's
arrow
latest
down.
By Chris Welch. Blank. Blank. Heading level 2. Heading level 2. No next edit box. Banner. Search. Press space to edit.
So it almost seems like it's working just as well as it does in Edge. It seems to be working at least pretty well in Chrome. Granted, I haven't used Narrator in Chrome, or I haven't tried it in quite some time, so I don't know how much is improved in this. I know they said there was improvements to compatibility in Chrome with the Spring 2019 update, but I don't know how much of that was from before and for now. But like I said, like you get a new computer. Let's say you're an NVDA user and you don't have it on a thumb drive or something. You could turn on your computer, turn on Narrator, get through the setup process. Not only that, peruse your computer, go through your add remove programs, change a few Windows settings. You could go to your browser of choice. You could go to, if Chrome is already on there, or if Edge is on there, you just go in there. You go to your nvaccess.org or whatever. You go download NVDA or whatever it is you're going to do. With Narrator, Narrator's gotten to be a pretty solid option, and like I said, I'm still really impressed with the way that Microsoft is just improving accessibility all around. I mean, man, seeing AI and this seeing VR, which I really desperately want to try. You got your Xbox, you've got your Windows 10 accessibility, and not just for blindness stuff. They're doing stuff for learning disabilities and mobility impairments and hearing impairments, just all across the board. I mean, just since Satya Nadella took over, they've just been really ramping it up, and so very curious to see where Microsoft goes next. So yeah, we've gotten a little bit of look at Chrome. I showed you some Narrator improvements or some new features there. Showed you some new mouse and visual features and magnifier features. So not too shabby at all. And actually I can hit, just to wrap up the video, let me confirm. Let me hit Windows B.
Taskbar pane. User promoted notification area. Narrator. Button.
Look at that. And if I hit enter on that,
Narrator heading level 1.
boom, we got here,
Narrator.
and this is our Narrator home. So again, it looks just like one of those subsections in your settings screen. It doesn't look like that weird kind of vertical white interface thing that it used to have that would always just get in the way of your tab order. You can do that, and I think it said you can show and hide with Windows Control N.
Settings Windows. Scan. Use Narrator. Turn
okay.
on Narrator.
Hold on.
Narrator. Use Narrator.
Oh, that just
turn
okay.
On
I thought that would.
heading.
I thought that would actually hide it too.
System. Menu item.
Hang on, let me try something.
Narrator
here.
head. System. Menu bar. System. What's new? Feedback link. Exit Narrator. Minimize. Button. Alt. M.
Alt M. Okay. So
UI thread.
So now, again,
The Verge,
it should not be in
Google
my
Chrome,
tab order.
Bandicam, Steam, The Verge, Bandicam, Steam.
And it is not.
The Verge.
So there you go.
Reflector 3.
I've confirmed that, and again, remember JAWS, you minimize that thing to the system tray, and half the time the damn menu wouldn't work. Like, you go to the system tray or something, you'd try to bring up the menu, and it may or may not focus on it depending on its mood. So, yeah, I've confirmed that Narrator does, in fact, work from the system tray. Huzzah! Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is kind of a look at the spring 2019 or May 2019 update for Windows 10. It should be rolling out to everybody in stages right now. It started about, May 21st-ish or so. And even on my computer, I wasn't getting it for the first few days, and I hadn't heard anything horrible about nasty bugs or crashes or anything, and I was kind of impatient, so I used the Windows Update tool, or the I forget what you call it, but there's a little tool you can do, and it'll basically just, if it doesn't appear in Windows Update, you can kind of force it to go, hey, grab this update, I want to see it. So I did that over the weekend, and yeah, my system's been running great. And even with Magnifier, like I said, the focus issues are largely gone. When you scroll,
Malwarebytes
look
tray
at how
application
I'm gonna kill Magnifier.
Exiting Narrator.
Exiting Narrator. So if I just move around, I mean, look at how nice and smooth this is, and it's not. It doesn't seem like it's a frickin' hog. Like, I like zoom text and all, but like, it is. They still need to optimize that something fierce. I mean, no offense, guys, but like, even on a solid state hard drive, that thing takes like 10 seconds to load. And sometimes it can be a little chunky. It can take a little while to do stuff. And, look at this nice mouse pointer. I've got a mouse pointer that stands out. The Magnifier runs great. Yeah, some really nice built-in tools here. So, awesome. Congrats to Microsoft for doing all this. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Follow me on Twitter at BGFH79, mixer.com/BGFH, or, of course, illegally cited.com. Until next time, I'll chat with you guys again later.